What's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot and thank you guys for joining us. Today we are going to be reviewing the Walther CCP M2 pros and cons, how it shoots, everything that we know about it. We're going to be telling you today, and this is another Patreon selected gun. Big thanks to the shot team for your help on this one. The majority of you guys wanted to see this, so if you want to join in on the action and all of the fun, if you didn't know, by the way, our Patreon has grown, and there's a reason for it, because it is way better than before. So I left a link for you guys down below if you want to join the shot team. And one Patreon in particular, I'm going to start calling one of you guys out from here on out, is Brad V. I won't use your last name, but Brad V has been a patron now for 1 year. We appreciate your support, man. Thanks to Walther for sending this gun out. And what do you get? Out of the box. Let me move my other Walthers. I got a table full of Walthers here, so you know it's going to be a good day. All right, so you get a foam padded case here, booklet. All right, it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the CCP. Of course, there are some changes to this one that we will definitely talk about. You're going to get 2 magazines. These are 8-round mags. I don't know how shiny they are. Probably pretty shiny. But we'll take some still photos so you guys can see. Reversible magazine release, of course. I'll take that one out. Lock, paperwork, all of that kind of stuff. And then you have the gun, your 2 7-round mags. So let's get the box out of the way so we can talk about the star of the show, which is the Walther CCP M2. Now, if you recall, if you've been keeping up with the channel for any length of time, I never did a review on the original CCP. I kind of seen how the breakdown went and all this kind of stuff, and I just wasn't interested. With this one, obviously, patrons selected this gun amongst the others that I had in mind. So I was like, well, hey, they selected it, so we'll try this one out. Let's go ahead and get into it with just the basic specs, and then I'll show you a little bit of comparison here. Barrel length, 3.54 inches. Overall length is 6.4 inches. The height is 5.1 inches. The width is 1.1 inches. And the weight with an empty mag is 22.3 ounces. All right, to give you an idea of what this looks like next to the Walther PPS M2, which is still in my carry rotation. All right, slide to slide. All right, the Walther CCP M2 is a little bit longer. Looking at the widths there, CCP looks to be a little bit wider. Now keep in mind we have the flush 6-round mag in the PPS M2. And you have an 8-round mag in the CCP. All right, so you can tell there's a good 1/2 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch difference. All right, makes a pretty big difference. IWB. Let's try it with the extended 7-round base plate in the PPS M2, and they're about the same length. All right, so this is one of those things I kind of, since that P365 gun came out, you kind of compare everything to that in a sense, which is really hard not to do that because of the way they were able to pack 10 rounds into that gun. But overall, it's definitely a bigger single stack type of gun. It's going to be on the bigger end of those guns. It really just depends if you're willing to take the extra length for this gun. All right, so let me show you next to the Glock 43X what that looks like. All right, Glock is just a hair longer. You do have this little bit of a finger rest extension right there. So they're almost the same. Glock is actually a little bit longer, but you get 10 rounds in the Glock 43X. All right, so just wanted to give you an idea of where this gun fits. All right, 8-round capacity. Let's walk around the gun and show you the features, okay? So you have a Picatinny rail up front, light, lasers, whatever you want to attach there. Serrated trigger guard, kind of a rounded, squared off type. High undercut in the frame. And one thing about this gun, I've said the PPS M2 feels like a small PPQ. This really feels like a small PPQ. Absolutely love the way this gun feels in your hand. It's pretty much perfect. And I'm going to say that. I mean, I can get all of my digits on the gun and it feels incredible. All right, so right out the gate. And like I said, you do have a little bit of a finger extension right there on the bottom. All right, and it just hugs your hand really nicely. Traditional magazine release. We've kind of expected that from Walther over the past few years. And then you have little indentions right here where your thumb sits. You do have a thumb safety on this model. All right, if that's something that bothers you, there's really no other option. All right, there is no other option right now. All right, but it is very positive, and it can be passive if you want it to be. All right, so you can see that right there. Slide stop, all right, is not ambidextrous. All right, and then the grip texturing, which I absolutely love. When it comes to grip texturing, between a good balance of keeping the gun locked in your hand, comfort when you're concealed carrying, I think they have the best one. You have these cross-directional squigglies, technical term right there, and it's fantastic. Slight finger groove right here in the front, kind of a palm swell type of deal here. It doesn't really bother me. It feels really good. And then their logo back here. No back strap options on this one. Front and rear slide serrations. All right, and one thing, if you have weaker hands, weaker dexterity in your hands, this slide is unbelievably easy to lock back or manipulate in any way. I mean, the battery of arms on this gun is simply, it's incredible how light this thing is, and I'll show you why here in a second. All right, the sights, you have a 3-dot sight setup, polymer sights. And this one just has traditional dots. They're really recessed into the cutout here. So a little bit different. I mean, they're kind of hard to pick up. And it was interesting whenever it was like cloudy, it was hard to pick up. And then I would put my hands over it and they would pick up a little bit better. I don't know. It was just, I don't know how light affects these things. But I think because they're so far recessed, all right, into the actual sight holder, it makes them a little bit harder to see. There's 3 different options on this gun. So you have this version, you have a stainless version, and then you have the Viridian laser version as well. All right, and what you have back here, something that they added to this version, is the striker indicator. So you can tell whenever you drop that striker. Very similar. Well, not really. This is more of a loaded chamber indicator, and I really just wanted to show this gun off to you. For those that did not watch the review of our World War II Walther P38, I encourage you to go over and check it out because these World War II guns just have me so excited. Because there's so much history and the things behind them. But anyways, they actually did have a loaded chamber indicator even back then, which is pretty crazy. Walther has been doing things like this. Obviously not the same as a striker indicator, but just wanted to show that to you right there. So they do use striker indicators and mainly striker indicators now. I don't know that they do a loaded chamber indicator on any of their guns, but they may. And one thing that you'll notice about this gun is you really have to pull it all the way back to get the striker to reset. And what I mean by that is you'll pull it back here and you're thinking, all right, that's pretty much all the way back. Nope. All the way back to get that thing to reset. All right, didn't cause any issues, but just something I noticed whenever I was trying to reset the gun for our Patreon first overlook of this gun. I was sitting there thought I had it reset, and I was like, what the heck's going on? But anyways, what else about this gun? That's pretty much it as far as external features. External extractor, of course, stainless steel barrel, front and rear slide serrations. All right, so we showed you how it looks size comparison wise. Let's break the gun down. And this is where it is light years better compared to the original. So what you do, all right, release the striker. You have a button back here now, and all you're going to do is push it over. All right, your striker spring assembly is going to pop out. You're going to take the gun, you're going to lift up and back towards the muzzle just a little bit. All right, and just like that, you've taken the gun down. How much easier is that than the original? The original, you had to have a tool and, 3 hands and all this kind of stuff. Well, this one, you don't. Now, one thing you may notice, a little bit different looking. All right, fixed barrel. All right, what they use is their soft coil gas technology. All right, and what this is a gas delayed blowback system. So you actually have a port, all right in this area. It's ahead of the chamber, and that basically takes the gases from the bullet as it's exiting the barrel. It acts upon this piston, which helps to slow, it basically keeps the slide still until the barrel has fully exited the barrel, and then the slide will do its rearward motion, its full cycling process and all that, all right? And it's designed to literally be less recoil in the gun. And some people actually say that fixed barrel guns shoot straighter. And I'm about to show you how this gun shot here in just a minute. And you can decide for yourself. But really interesting design, but it's such an awesome thing that they redesigned this, no tools or anything like that. Obviously this one's dirty. We did run some rounds through this one, but and then in here you can see your striker assembly with your spring and all that. So there you go. All right, spring obviously is not captive. And then putting the gun back together, all you really want to make sure, the only thing that may hold you up, it did for us in the beginning. Let me grab something to point to here. All right, you have that little piston. That's where your piston is going to ride, right in there. That's the only thing that may hold you up. You just want to make sure that your piston is inside of that hole, okay? So let me show you here. Spring goes over the barrel. All right, piston goes into that slot. You're not going to really be able to see this. That's why I wanted to show you before. And your piston, just make sure that's lined up. It's actually easier for me to see it from this side where I have light. Make sure that piston is lined up. Watch, I'm going to struggle because I told you guys it was so easy. It really is easy. It's not hard at all. All right, come on. There we go. All right. And then drop it back in at the same angle you just did it. All right. I made that look so much harder than it needs to be, which is something I'm good at doing on camera. And then we're going to put this spring, the striker spring, back in there. Push it in. You're going to hear it click, click. There you go. This slide is so easy to move. All right. So we're going to go to the range. We're going to show you how it shoots. Afterwards, we're going to show you the trigger, talk about pros and cons, and our overall opinion on the CCP M2. We will see you guys in a minute.
Good job.
All right, 40-yard shots with the Walther CCP M2. Got our orange shoot steel target down there. Let's see what we can make happen. Alright, that's not too bad at 40 yards. Maybe I need to paint it orange every time, because that was really easy to pick up. Although these sights are not, but we'll talk about more about that in the review. So, but not too bad at 40 yards. Alright, so how about that? I believe this is, and just trying to think about it, all the guns that we've done 40-yard shots on, but I believe this is the only gun I have ever connected on every single shot. It's pretty impressive. Alright, this thing is a heck of a shooter. One thing we did on our first shots video on Patreon is we had a hang fire. Alright, that video is on Patreon if you want to go check it out. But I'm pretty sure that was just the ammo. I actually had some Blazer brass. I was pretty excited about this because I found ammo that I wasn't sure what happened to it. It got lost somehow, some way. But it really wasn't lost. It was inside of a bag inside of our garage, and I found a whole bunch of ammo, and that was part of the ammo that was left out there. And I think maybe because it was exposed to the heat for a while, or maybe the primer just sucked or whatever, but we did have one hang fire that I wanted to report to you guys, but that's on the ammunition, not really the gun. So other than that, we didn't have any issues at all. All right, which is probably not shocking considering it's from Walther. All right, now let me show you the trigger here really quick. Drop the mag. Make sure we're in the clear. Make sure we get that striker to reset. So just the way the trigger looks, no dingus or anything like that. What you have is a very long and awkward feeling trigger on paper and really in your hands. Reset. Hold on, let me do that one more time. Pretty much all the way out. So you pick this gun up in a gun store and you're like, I don't want nothing to do with that. That's not good. Well, let's try it with the gauge. Let's see where we're at first. Oh, 0 pounds, 0 ounces. That's pretty good. All right, hold on. Let's see. All right, let's try this again. 6 pounds, 1 ounce. Let's try it again. 5 pounds, 9 ounces. All right, so right in the 6 pound range. But you're thinking, that's not too good. That reset sucks, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you, sometimes it ain't all in the trigger, and I think we just showed that on camera. This gun is awesome at the range. Absolutely awesome. And I think it's, I dare to say, a better shooter than the PPS M2. Do you smell a comparison coming? Because I do. I think that would be an awesome video. But just saying right here, right now, that I think it has a better trigger than that one. And I love that gun, and I love the trigger on that one. I'm telling you, sometimes it's not all about what the trigger is on paper or anything like that. This gun is fantastic at the range. Now, let's keep in mind it is a little bit of a bigger gun when it comes to single stacks. All right, so that leads us into uses here really quick. And obviously, the first use that you would think for this gun, CCP, concealed carry pistol, is concealed carry. All right, and I did not carry this gun. I don't have a holster for this gun. But I kind of get the idea. It's 22 ounces, so it's about the weight of a Glock 26 unloaded. I think those are around 21.7, but you know, you get the idea there. And about the size of the Glock 43X. All right, so you get the idea. Now, one thing I can say, even though I haven't carried the gun, is this grip texturing is not going to tear you up something like maybe the SIG P365 would. All right, so that's a benefit. But it is going to be more. I mean, and when I say that, it's going to be more than carrying something like the PPS. That 3/4 of an inch or half an inch, whatever it really is, makes all the difference in the world when you're trying to hide something like this. I mean, this is really just maybe 1/10 of an inch smaller than the Glock 43X. The same Glock 43X that I don't think is really good at concealed carry like that. So I think if you're gonna conceal carry this gun, just make sure that you have a setup, maybe appendix or maybe some way to hide it. Now, some people don't have a problem carrying a grip length like this, and a lot of you guys let me know, hey, I don't have a problem carrying the Glock 43X. I don't know, man. What I really wish is that this gun and the PPS M2, some of its merits kind of were intertwined in a way. I don't know, because the way this gun shoots, and I can tell you this gun is soft shooting and accurate, man, and that's what you want. And if you're willing to take a little bit more weight, it might be a good pickup, all right? But you do have 2 less rounds if we're comparing to the Glock 43X. But dang, this thing is a good shooter. So concealed carry, I would say yeah. I don't think it's the best option. I think this is a better option for concealed carry. But I will say that it is one heck of a shooter, and they did a great job as far as that. All right, home defense, possibly, yeah, because you have your lighter laser. If you say, hey, I can only buy one gun, I have to have a multi-purpose gun, this is going to be a good fit, because whereas this one, you have to maybe get the one with the laser, or you have to get a special attachment, or whatever the case may be, this one you can buy any laser that'll attach to Picatinny, and you're good to go. All right, so sometimes there is a market for these bigger single stack guns. All right, so it's really up to you. The gun's just an amazing shooter. So if you want to take it to the range or anything like that, I think you would really have a good time with that. Home defense, possibly. Again, not the best use for it there either. I think if this gun was slimmed down a little bit, I think if they shaved some of the weight off, and if they were able to increase the capacity while making this grip a little bit smaller, then I think you really would have something special. All right, so pros. We already touched on this stuff. It's an amazing shooter. You have that nice Cerakote finish, which is going to last you a long time. This one I don't think actually has Cerakote, and it's got some holster wear and stuff, but it's actually held up pretty nicely. The Walther name, reliability, all of that good stuff. One heck of a shooter, and probably the best grip texturing and feeling gun as far as the way it feels in my hand. Miss Headshot concurs. She really liked the way this gun felt in her hand. She shot it pretty well. So you're talking about an upper end on the size scale, but really just an amazing option. Front and rear slide serrations. You guys know I'm a fan of Walther. There's no doubt about it. But when it comes to the cons, again, the size, man. If they just slimmed it down in some places, I think you would really have a really good gun. And I was going to mention the whole breakdown process as being kind of a con compared to other ones, but the way they did this, I don't think so. I think it's just as easy, if not easier, to break the gun down. And I was telling you guys how easy it was and all of that, and of course you watch me struggle, but it's really not that hard at all. So I like what they've done with the gun. I think if they made those few changes, it's just a little bit too big, a little bit too heavy for my liking in a concealed carry pistol. I mean, really, that's all it amounts to, and that's just my personal taste. Now, I also do wish, and this is one more con that I've seen, is they give you an option without the manual safety. I just don't know that it's needed on a gun like this. You know, keep your booger finger off the trigger, all right, and you'll be good to go. All right, capacity is pretty decent. All right, so it's really kind of difficult for me to do this review because I love the gun so much, but it's very similar to the Glock 43X and what I said about this gun. I mean, it just needs to, where the Glock 43X, the size or the weight is really good, the grip length is just way too long. On this one, I would take 8+1 in the chamber all day long, but I think it just needs to be trimmed down in certain places for my liking, because there's options out there, and you're looking at one right on the table that I just think are better options for concealed carry, deep concealment. Outside the waistband, anything like that, well, the whole world opens up to you, but I'm talking about deep inside the waistband concealment where you can't print or anything like that. If it was just trimmed down in certain places and you kept or upped the capacity, you'd have a absolutely almost perfect pistol, dare I say. So grade wise, I'll give it an 8. But it just needs to be trimmed down in some places. But of course, that is just my opinion. I of course want to hear what you guys have to say. What is your opinion on the Walther CCP M2? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're a power patron or up, your name is coming with the special outro right after this. We will see you guys on the next one. And as always, hold them down.